Hey everyone, Terry here, and you're watching Choose Me. Previously, our participants had finally met with one another and we dived into 2 case studies shared by Jonathan and Georgiana. This week, we continue where we left off with Jia Xuan and Karen sharing their case studies. Let's see how they fare. We've had Unity and Manulife US REITs. I wonder which companies are next.
Let me just recap very quickly. 2 weeks ago, we actually went through Georgiana and Jonathan's presentation, and both of them you can see that there's different style of presentation for both of them, and I believe there's always learning point from everyone's presentation. You can see that some will focus on things that you personally will not focus, right? And then you can see that the way they analyze the product or the service in terms of the company's business model, right? Some can go very in-depth and some of them will feel that, I need to put my energy in something else, right? So there's always learning point here and there. Today we'll continue on with Jia Xuan and Karen's presentation. So before I even begin, right, Karen and Jia Xuan, what company are you presenting? Can you just let the rest know?
I'm researching on Palantir right now.
Palantir, okay.
Are you doing that also?
Very good. Yes. Me too.
Very good. Come. So today, right,
Versus PK.
So it'll be a very, very cool debate session. We'll see why do you say this way? Why do you have this view?
Okay, so I shall start. Thanks everyone. I think on hindsight is good. So today, right, all the case study is on this company, Palantir. So Palantir is a public American software company that specializes in big data analytics. So being a lot of the Rings fans, I need to let you know where the Palantir name comes from. So what does Palantir mean, right? Palantir is actually a seeing stone in the story of Lord of the Rings. So that's how they come up with their company name. If you see here, right, the founding year is in 2003. So there is one major event that happened just 1 year before 2003 in the US. Does anybody, able to share?
The 911?
Yeah, correct. So actually, right, if you see this company, right, is founded based on this catastrophic event that happened in the US. Peter Thiel, who started PayPal, think that, if they are doing some kind of a company that enables them to detect fraud, they possibly can use the same kind of analytics software to be able to track down terrorists also. So that is where in 2003, he founded this company with Alex Karp and Stephen Cohen. Okay, in short, what is their business? It's a data analytics and software platform. The 2 key products that they have here, right, is what we call Palantir Gotham and Palantir Foundry. So Gotham, right, what it does is to integrate, manage, secure, and analyze all your enterprise data. This particular product, Gotham, is mainly used by the government services. For example, there is this particular military volunteer corps. There was one Hurricane Florence in the west coast of US. So what did they do, right? Using this as their crisis response was that they're able to collect data from all these crisis points at these different areas that are hit by the hurricane. And then after inputting all these different data points, they are able to use this Gotham system to quickly find out where are the points for them to be able to send out their crisis rescue ops. The next product that they have, right, which is used and mainly targeted at commercial customers, is what you call Foundry. Now what they do, right, is that they take all these data points from the company in this organization, and then when they input into a system, that's where in the software is able to come up with insights and understanding from all this data that is fed into the platform. And the main point, right, that I quote here in their annual report is that they have Foundry to turn insights into actions and models into outcomes. So Ferrari has actually been using Palantir Foundry system since 2017. And then if you look at their F1 car race rankings, right, historically from 2017, they are usually second or third place. So I think that, Foundry is helping them to get the results that they want. They started to also push out this product that's called Apollo. This is the platform that is powering both Gotham and Foundry. This Apollo, what it does for the companies that are using Gotham or Foundry is that you will not have any downtime when it comes to maintenance. So, sometimes, right, in our MNC that we work for, you always, server down 1-2 hours, then they come in very inconvenient kind of timing and setting, and then that inconveniences the whole organization ops. So in this case, right, what Apollo can do is that it eliminates downtime in mission critical institutions. You will see here that in the first quarter this year, compared to last year, they are seeing a 76% jump in terms of the government spending as compared to last year. So the commercial growth compared to government may be smaller. We're looking at 19% growth. But if you think about it, right, their government customer business has started taking off track in 2008. But then for commercial customers, they only actively started hunting for customers in 2016. For any company, 19% growth to get commercial customers, I think it is an acceptable result already. What I see for Palantir in terms of their economic mode, there are increasingly more and more government services that are using them. So you can see that there is a network effect growing there. The other one is the intangible assets. So they have a lot of patents already that they are increasingly building up along the way. And then the last point is switching costs. Okay, because when people enter into these contracts with them, right, it's not just a one-off buying. What are the kind of risks, right, that we expect to see? The first one, right, as I say, right, is this Alex Karp, right? And then he's a very interesting chap. Okay, he said that we have chosen sides. I don't know whether you want to call them stubborn or you call them got character, okay? Because they will say that, sorry, we only work with US and US allies. So you won't expect them to work with those big tech companies in China, okay? Next one will be regulatory risk. Even if they want to expand in the US allied countries, right? You will see that every country got their own data protection laws, etc. So there's all these changes, in the data regulations that they need to manage. And then lastly, I'll put this as a key man risk. Alex Karp is given security, so he seemed to be a very important person that without him, right, the company cannot function. Okay, so I will highlight these three as the main management to watch out for. If they leave, are there significant changes or not to the company? So these are the major top shareholders. I see that, okay, generally they all have skin in the game, so yeah, I have no issues with that. So far, the only two that pass I'll put here will be revenue. You can see that revenue, okay, is progressing. And then the gross profit margin also, yeah. But the rest, don't pass. But, I am vested for the future growth of the company. So, waiting for the star chart. Growth company, not yet profitable, but I can see that the revenue is growing significantly. So, based on that, right, I am fairly bullish about this. So here are my concluding thoughts, okay, regarding this company. I think for me, first thing is to continue to observe the commercial customer growth. That's one. And then I'll be looking out for the Q2 guidance. My current valuation that I'm comfortable with will be 20 to 22. So I have just listed here, I intend to hold this long term. This is probably one of my core positions. And then if it drops below 18, right, I'll straight away buy already. So these are some of my execution plans for this company. Okay, thank you.
Right, very good, very good. Hey, I like this thoughts page because this is your thoughts. You consolidate whatever you have for the past presentation and your thoughts flow through.
Actually, Palantir, I did study before. Too complicated for me.
I agree.
Because it involves cloud, involves security, involves the customized software. So many things. I don't know how they concentrate on their revenue.
That's why you don't have to know what exactly they do. Just push whatever data that you have to them. They just have the ways of doing this and that, and then to give you the solution.
How many of you feel that Georgiana is also a Palantir investor?
Oops, very obvious, huh?
Very obvious.
Very obvious.
I really do. Until now, I cannot fully understand what they do. But I see as an end user, and then as long as they are finding more new customers, and then their existing customers buy more, then I'm okay lah. Like I can accept lah.
Hey, want to get weekly coaching from our experts? If you do, just head over to VApp and join our V coaching sessions, where our coaches will discuss the latest investment topics and case studies. What's more, you get to share your thoughts with a community of investors. It's simple, just select a plan that best suits your needs and you're all set to grow your investment portfolio.
Okay, so like what Karen mentioned, this is a recently IPO company. So for the business model, there's three parts. So there's the acquire phase, the expand phase, as well as the scale phase. Generally, people who just join them will be under a higher phase where they are not recognizing more than 100K of their revenue. Along the way, these people will move on to the extended phase whereby they're generating more than 100K, but they are still not generating a profitable margin for Palantir itself. Over time, they want to push these two groups into the scale phase whereby they are generating more revenue and also providing a positive margin for Palantir itself. So you can see, right, actually they followed through from 2019 to last year. All three phases are the revenue actually increased. So this is a good showcase of how they're actually pushing their customers towards the scale phase. And then in terms of customers, right, you can see that 95% of their revenue actually comes from existing customers. It's a good indication that people want to use their platform over the years. So in terms of the total addressable market, they mentioned that it's around 119 billion. And then from the financial year 2020 revenue, right, it's only around 1.1 billion. You can see that even though Stung being a larger company generating higher revenues, right, they only own about less than 2%. So this actually indicates that this pie is just too big for everybody to share. So nothing much to worry about for now. I feel that out of all the 5 forces, this is the one that's having the highest intensity because they need to persuade their customers, which is their competitor, to not build their own software but actually to use their own. So talking about economy mode, I have the same 3 ones as what Trevor mentioned, which is switching from network effect as well as intangible asset. You can see that the profit margin is actually very high, more than 60% over the past few years. Then these are some of the growth drivers. So they have actually indicated inside their annual report that they want to increase the reach with their existing customers by generating more value to them and drive expansion within each individual organization. There's always risk, so regulation, like what Trevor mentioned, R&D risk is something that we cannot avoid for all these tech companies. And the last risk I actually am slightly concerned is that they're actually dealing only with US and their allies. So by not dealing with big countries like China, right, actually they are actually reducing a lot of opportunities they can have. So talking about the management, this is the board. So this is one of the co-founders, although he's not in the management team, but I believe he plays an important part because actually you can see from his past experience that he's a CEO and PayPal before he was actually bought by eBay. Last but not least, the quirky CEO we all know with the weird hairstyle. So actually there's nothing much about their experiences because he joined them very early in the day. But from the current results, you can actually see that he actually spearheaded a lot of things like help to push for Palantir to be such a good company today. Last but not least, I think this is a key personnel to take note of because he's a COO and then he also had a big background in terms of the science and the computer engineering, all this stuff. So talking about numbers, look at the B's rating. You can see the journey is green. Their revenue has been increasing over the past few quarters. You can see that even though there are other competitors like Splunk, even though they're generating 2,000 plus, but their revenue stream is not very consistent, unlike Palantir. All 3 companies actually hold of cash, but in terms of the debt to equity ratio, you can see who is the one that is the most investment. You can see that actually their BCS is only on 5 plus, so technically it's built on our fundamentals training. So in summary, right, they build a platform for people to analyze data, and then they have a fairly wide moat. One key risk I have is that they are limiting their opportunities. And then the management-wise, they are very committed because they have worked since 2003, 2005. Then numbers-wise, they are generating high revenue, high GPM, low debt. So I feel that the investment thesis is quite safe, and then I'm very committed. That's all. Yeah.
Very nice. Hey, guys, how do you feel about his presentation?
Can go and do V coaching already.
Karen just started.
Everyone can do also.
No, now both of you can do so that because I mean it's also very interesting to see with the same case study, but then you're giving us different insights also coming from. I mean, although it's the same case, but I think it's very nice.
I think just now when Jia Xuan put up the sales progression over the years, I really like that segment. I think that's something that I need to learn to do also on my end.
Let me just go one by one. Firstly, right, Karen, for your first part on Palantir, right, you attempt to explain the business model, which is good. But as I resonate with the rest of them, I actually feel that in terms of this part, right, you can explain it more layman as possible. Secondly is that your part, there's one more very interesting part. You showed PIEC numbers and almost all fail.
Yeah.
Right? And then at the end of the day, you say, pass.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you say pass, and I'm a bit confused. Okay, then come to Jia Xuan, right? Same thing. Very weirdly, you and Karen say, numbers, this part fail. Then after that, the summary slide, the numbers is great, then you put yes.
Oh, okay.
Right? There's certain details they didn't pick up from Palantir.
There's one metric that measure the SaaS model one.
Correct.
The
Which is
rule of
what-
40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rule of 40 is it?
Yes, now this one I'm going to mention, right? Which is the rule of 40. Okay, rule of 40 is a very common metrics to measure SaaS companies. Very simple. Just measure on two things. Firstly, your revenue growth and your profit margin. Take the absolute number, you add them together. Okay? Example A. Example A. Growth 20%, margin 20%. What is your rule of 40 number? Don't calculate lah. No, just add together.
Just blast.
So 20 and 20. So what's the answer for that?
40.
40 lah. So does it pass the rule of 40?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that simple lah. And yeah, so I really like Karen and Jia Xuan's sharing. You guys can go back and see if you guys, and if any pointer you guys missed out lah, can touch up the case study a bit, right?
We've concluded our participants' first case study sharing as a group. It was also interesting to see two different approaches when evaluating the same company, wasn't it? I'm sure our participants had much to learn from the discussions, and I'm sure you learned a lot too. So join us again next week where we'll be checking in with our Choose Me participants in another one-to-one session with Ming Yao. Enjoying the series so far? Then drop us a like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to get updated when our next episode is released.